Hey everyone, welcome to JoJo's World.
Good morning.
Guten
Tag?
Morgen?
Guten
Morgen.
Good morning.
Good and Morgen, everyone.
It is a German morning time.
Yep, Christmas has been and gone. The New Year's has yet to reign. We are in the interregnum.
The interregnum.
That's what I call the time between Christmas and New Year's.
The time upon which you may be called upon to say, I'll see you next year.
Yes.
And everyone laughs.
Or else.
We all must laugh. But by the time this episode comes out, it won't be.
It'll be 2025, a gleaming year of the future. Silver cities stretch as high as the sun fills the sky.
The post-interregnum.
Climate change solved.
Solved? Oh my god.
Undone. We reversed it, and now we all await the Great Awakening that will turn some people into orcs and some people into elves.
Ooh,
and a dragon will be
dragons.
president.
Yeah. You know, I really like that the dragon became president and not
This
like,
is Shadowrun stuff.
yeah, and not just some big head of a corporation. That'd be real bad if that happened.
Now, I don't actually know enough about Shadowrun to know what you're driving at there.
There's another dragon who is the head of a corporation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yep, that's that.
That's dragons for you.
That's dragons.
Smaug.
Parthenax.
Glantherion the Black.
Glantherion.
I think I'm getting that wrong. There's a big old dragon. In Tolkien.
Who's the dragon who's on that cover of the book that we had as kids?
Smaug.
No.
Aragon.
Aragon's
Aragon's dragon friend, Saphira?
Sophia? Sophia the dragon?
Saphos?
Sapphic the dragon? Does that work? In certain circles.
Jane and the dragon.
Yikes. The Mortal Engine. The dragon.
More Legends, Bartimaeus trilogy, Jonathan Strange and Mr Norrell,
Count von Lohengrin.
The Day After Tomorrow, R.I.P. That guy.
The Last of Us.
The Amber Spyglass.
There's
the
that
Subtle Knife, The Northern Lights.
There's that one about
Yes,
the
Dark
dragon.
Materials, the YA books about killing God.
Yep, Wolf of Wall Street is about a dragon. Like a dragon.
Like a dragon, The Beach That Makes You Like a Dragon, Yakuza.
Dragon Stranding.
Shut up. I'm really excited for a pirate Yakuza in Hawaii coming in the next month or so.
It's gonna be amazing.
Majima from Yakuza. He's got amnesia. He's a pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Shenanigans ensue.
He's a happy guy, but he doesn't know why.
And yet,
Everyone knows why.
yeah. And of course, I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Nick Valentine, the other one of the co-hosts.
This is JoJo's World, our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast, but today we are recapping and discussing episodes 29 and 30 of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
These 2 episodes, man.
You chose this, Nick. You're the one who chose to keep going. And we got 2 episodes where not much happened.
I'm a fool. I'm an absolute fool.
We're enjoying it.
I thought it was going to be like non-stop, balls to the wall action like last season.
Balls to the wall.
Absolute balls
Like
to the wall.
squash?
Yeah, but like more balls because normally it's like
Multi-ball.
yeah, multi-ball squash. Oh, now that would
With
be
paintball elements.
good. Literally at every moment, you can either hit it back at the wall. Oh no!
How do you have the one creaky chair again? What's wrong with the way you sit?
Listen, I'm a sitter connoisseur. Okay, I sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna.
Listeners, I fulfilled my promise that I made on air last episode to go to Bunnings to get Nick a new non-creaky chair, and they didn't have the right kind of chair in stock.
Wait, so they did have chairs?
No.
Oh, okay.
They had like outdoor chairs.
Oh!
Nick, go and get one of the other chairs from the other room.
Hang on. We're gonna get another chair. Here we go. Regale our listeners.
I'm cutting all this.
Regale them, Liam. Regale them.
I believe it was 1888 where a young Dio Brando moved into the Joestar Manor and caused all sorts of events that would reverberate like a ripple in a pond throughout the remainder of history.
All the
History,
way
of
through...
course, ending in about 2010-ish.
Do you remember?
Do I remember?
In the year 987 or so, there was that big battle for like Astarte or something. Do you remember that? Was it 987?
You are paying much more attention to the calendar in this show than I am.
I think it's somewhere in that ballpark. But that set off a catalyst of events not unlike a man finding a stone mask. Because now we're watching these episodes and going, yes, there's much to digest here, much to digest. But really, it just boils down to a couple guys in big spaceships.
Nick, the listeners want to know our opinions on anime, for some reason. Mm-hmm. For some reason, the listeners like anime, I can only assume.
Is this one
What the fuck is wrong with your sit style, man?
I don't know.
Just sit still like I am.
I can't sit perfectly still. I'm a human being, Liam. I breathe.
I don't. I put on the stone mask.
And then
I'm more than human. I'm a podcaster.
You put on the stone mask, and the podcaster with its big green face comes out and is like
smoking.
your full embodiment of the persona of the podcaster.
Yeah, I put on the mask from The Mask and basically become Ira Glass.
Wait, when you take off the mask, or rather when the mask is taken off you, because it has to be forcibly removed because, the podcaster tries to stay on air as long as possible. What lies underneath, Liam?
So anyway, I watched the Ranma Half anime that was recently released on Netflix.
Is this the one about the martial artist who turns into a girl?
There's this boy, Ranma Saotome.
Yep.
And he got dipped in some cursed water in China.
Oh, classic.
There's this field with like 100 ponds, and every pond had something drown in it. And then, because of curses, if you fall in that pond, you become that thing physically.
Okay.
So he becomes a young girl whenever he gets cold water put on him, and the only way to reverse it is with hot water. His dad turns into a panda, spends most of the show as a panda.
Okay.
Another guy becomes a baby pig.
Okay.
And that's kind of it.
Did they all fall in these ponds?
Yeah. Because of shenanigans.
Were they on like a field trip or something?
So Ranma and his dad were there to practice their martial arts because they are from the Saotome Anything Goes school of martial arts.
Okay. I like this already. Go on.
And in a sparring match, they
Sparred.
knocked each other in. The other guy who turns into a pig, he was pursuing Ranma there because of an unrelated interpersonal conflict.
I see.
And he fell into the little pig pond, and they almost cooked him alive.
Into the little pig pond for the little pig
And
man.
I assume throughout the rest of the show, other people will be like, oh yeah, that also happened to me. And now I turn into like
an elephant.
An elephant,
Yep.
an accountant,
accountant.
a lawyer, the president,
I turn into into a B-52
washing
bomber.
machine.
Yeah. I turn into an M16 carbine rifle.
Of course, listeners of the show will be well familiar with the other main media property where getting dunked into a pond turns you into a washing machine.
Goosebumps.
That is, of course, Banjo-Tooie.
Ah, of course.
When you enter Humbawamba's offensive Indian tent and take a dip in her magical Indian pool and turn into creatures, or in one case, a washing machine.
Classic.
Not to be confused with the other broad racial shaman caricature, Mumbo Jumbo,
But we love Mumbo
voodoo
Jumbo.
practitioner.
We love Mumbo Jumbo.
Bring back Banjo-Kazooie.
Bring back Mumbo Jumbo so we can cancel it.
Top 5 Banjo-Kazooie characters. Banjo, Kazooie, Gruntilda.
Yep. Do they have any friends? Like actual friends?
Yeah. Bottles the Mole, but he's not in the top 5.
Okay, alright. He's a piece of shit. He goes down
He's
to
a
the
wet
bottom.
blanket. He
He's
gets
a wet-
killed and becomes a ghost and hangs out in front of your house. And they were going to do a multiplayer mode where he became the devil and he could possess enemies, but they didn't end up doing that.
Oh, okay.
King Jingaling.
Who's King Jingling?
He's
Is
king
he
of the
manga?
Gingos.
Okay.
Was that 4?
Yeah, that's 4.
Alright, and the last one is, of course...
Mumbo Jumbo?
No.
Who's the big general guy?
Jam Jars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's like...
He's a mole.
Oh, okay.
He's Bottle's brother. Jam Jars.
Of course.
Clanker from Clanker's Cavern. The big robot shark you can get all up in his guts of.
He's number 5?
Yep.
Okay.
Banjo-Kazooie, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, Ranma Half.
Yeah. So Ranma.
He's got an arranged marriage with Akane of the Tendo family dojo. Mm-hmm. And they don't get along with each other, but they're teens and they secretly like each other. And then they have martial arts fights with jerks.
But they have an arranged marriage.
Yep.
Oh.
But everyone else is like, I'm so attracted to that teen, I need to break them up. And so they have martial arts fights.
Wait, so is the entire central premise of this show that they have an arranged marriage, but they don't like each other?
And he turns into a girl.
But they do like each other. He turns into a girl when someone comes over and is all like, hey, I'm going to break up you two.
Or just kill you for unrelated reasons. And they're like, well, we got to deal with this now.
Turns out you have a big inheritance?
No,
Turns out you have a small inheritance. And small is better than
this
no
isn't really
inheritance.
part of it.
No, okay, alright. Turns out I've seen you turn into a girl, and I'm Craven the Hunter, and I need to be beaten by a beast that can
Yeah,
kill
that'd
me.
happen. I played Spider-Man 2 recently on the PlayStation 5. Not a lot happened in these episodes of Legend of Galactic Heroes. So.
We'll get to them eventually.
Spider-Man 2, my review is that overall the story was rushed, but there's the bones of a good plot there.
Where was Eddie Brock?
Irrelevant.
Okay. Where was Norman Reedus, starring on Ride?
Oh, this reminds me of Ride with Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
I also recently started replaying Death Stranding recently.
Did you
But
actually?
I only got through the opening prologue saunter. And then I was like, I'm going to play Like a Dragon 8 instead.
Imagine going back to a game and saying, you know what? Literally anything except this would be better than this.
Well, I've got to finish Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth before A Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii comes out.
That's true. That is true. You have commitments to
do.
uphold.
And it's the holidays. It's the interregnum.
It is the interregnum.
That's the time for finishing video games you started a long time ago.
Fuck, maybe I gotta go finish Factorio.
I don't know what that is.
It's that game that I played for 80 hours straight.
I simply couldn't understand.
Don't worry.
So,
Legend
of the Galactic Heroes. A lot of Adrian Rubinsky time in these episodes. Our favourite guy,
Yep.
the best name to say, he's the Landshare of Phezzan.
Which technically isn't a nation, but practically it's a nation.
It's kind of Hong Kong, right? It's like the special administrative zone of the larger empire, and it's allowed to handle its own diplomatic affairs and have its own culture.
Yeah, except Hong Kong is its own nation. It's just
Well, not
that-
anymore, but
rip and peace. But, you know, fuck the Chinese government. Man, one day I'm gonna get assassinated in my home.
Landesherr, or Landesherr, I don't know, is German for a territorial lord. A ruler in the period beginning in the early Middle Ages, stemming from his status as being the immediate form of authority over the Landeshoheit.
And what's that?
Land.
Gotcha. There's something about, I really enjoy, there's just something about how in German, everything has a word.
Oh, that reminds me, we had some listener correspondence recently about German words, because we were talking about that last episode.
Fuck yes.
So, thank you for reminding me, I'm just pulling it up.
Not a problem. I'm glad I'm the one who's getting the kudos on this and not the listener.
I'm getting there.
They better get there.
So they blue-skied me at jojosworld.net. Mm-hmm. This is, of course, Zach, who said...
From Auntie Don?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Y'all mentioned super long German words. You should try, and I know I'm going to mangle this pronunciation.
Go on, then.
Rinderkennzeichnungsfleischstike Teilungsüberwachung Saufgeben Tragungsgesetz.
Can I try it?
This is the episode
You all
title.
mentioned super long German words. You should try. Oh, no, this is easy. It's Rinderkennzeichnungsfleischnik Tickettierungsüberwachung. Oh, sorry. That's
We get
Überwachung
sidetracked around the Uber because
Yeah.
there's a line break
Yeah.
there.
Gabenübertragungsgesetz. On for size. Can I guess what the fuck that means?
Did you see it before I put my
No,
phone?
I'm assuming it means riding a bicycle in the dead of night.
It means delegation transfer law for cattle labelling and beef labelling supervision duties.
Fucking give up. I'm fucking. What the? Why is German?
German!
Why?
Beautiful language.
Why could that not be multiple words? Why did they decide? Oh, I'll tell you what, it's pretty important. We'll make a word for it.
Listeners, send us your favourite German words, not any of those ones.
Listen, if I don't get at least 10 German words by the end of next week,
I want words.
German words. My favorite German word is Uber because it has the umlaut in it. It's got the cool thing. And it means big.
We open on a little waiting room, a perfectly mundane waiting room in the Phezzan Dominion, Adrian Rubinsky's office, as an evil wizard walks in and takes a seat.
Why, that priest, he has no right to be here.
He's an Earth cult priest. He's dressed in his evil Emperor Palpatine robes, and he comes and sits down in like what looks like a doctor's waiting room, essentially. And everyone's like, it just looks so out of place. It's hilarious.
It's like, we already established that they can communicate via this hologram, Star Wars-esque communication style. But he just walks in, full garb, just sits down, they're like, a priest? What's a priest
He's
doing?
not going to have much like baking here.
And they literally are like, please come in, Mr.
They
Priest.
skip him straight to the head of the throne. He is Bishop Degsby of the Earth Cult,
Bishop
or Earth
Degsby.
Church.
He's got long black hair that I thought was his hood when he took his hood off.
He's got an underhood.
He's got that beautiful underhood.
And he's basically here to get Adrian to recap his scheme about how they're going to side with the Empire and undermine the Alliance from within.
They talk a lot about this.
And then they talk about how, Adrian, don't forget that your true loyalties lie with the Earth Cult. Don't forget what happened to your predecessor.
So Adrian looks at the pilf, and he's like,
The Pilf.
the pilf. The priest. There we go.
He's not that attractive. He's got those sunken eyes.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't notice his eyes. Well, I guess I did notice this. They both got very sunken eyes. Maybe it's an Earth
Yeah, but
cult thing.
Adrian has a sort of raw masculinity around him. Like Vin Diesel.
Like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, they're both bald.
They are both
They're
bald.
both wide.
They're both rich. My eyes are very... Like, my eyebrows
My
are
eyes
very
are
high.
here.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's all like, never forget, the Earth Cult is your true master here.
So, basically, once Reinhardt is in charge of the whole universe, and he has, of course, already stripped the government of the Empire down to a smaller size, they will assassinate him and assume control of that.
Yeah. Thus forming the New Reich.
Well, the New Reich is already...
Oh, it's already a thing.
Yeah, or
Okay.
already will be a thing by then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's that scene, essentially, right? Nothing else to cover there?
There's like some musings, but nothing that
This
stuck with me.
thing called a nation starts to rot from the top down. There's not one exception. And then the priest counters, practically speaking, Phezzan is also a nation. You best watch yourself, Rubinsky.
And then Rubinsky's like, I'm good.
Yep. Basically, if they weaken the alliance with internal corruption, then they can destroy it easily.
Yeah. It's classic intrigue plays, you know? Schemes within schemes.
And then the guy we referred to last episode, or an episode before that, is as player 2 Oberstein comes in. This is Rupert Kesselink, and he's sort of Adrian's main agent in this current scheming.
Yeah, he is the Oberstein, but he's got a more hands-on vibe to
He
it.
spends the rest of the episode having meetings with people.
Yep. Wheeling, dealing, and recruiting. Wheeling, dealing, and person stealing. Yeah. So he's basically tasked with finding people who in the future will be able to undermine the Empire and the Alliance?
Well, there's some Empire side scheming going on that we don't really have a window into the full ramifications of yet. But he recruits, 3 people over the course of this episode.
Yep.
A disaffected noble in his country estate, with beautiful duck pond.
Oh, beautiful.
The leader of the guys who killed Flagle on his ship then fled to Phezzan to become farmers.
Yep.
And some guy who's trying to publish a book in Phezzan but is not having success.
I thought that was the guy, not Flagle, but one of the guys who was part of the that whole
Lipstadt Alliance.
Yeah.
He is, but I don't think he's a character we've seen before.
Oh, okay.
Unless he was one of the Flagles with the JPEG stretched in a different direction. But I
Yeah,
don't think he
that's-
was, because I think they all died horribly.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Meanwhile, on the Alliance, Julian's getting promoted for his actions in the last battle.
He did so well.
Yay.
He got so lucky.
He blew up that cruiser.
He killed many people.
Killed millions of people on that cruiser. Trillions, even.
But he got promoted.
Yeah.
Yay.
He gets a call from Frederica, formally advising him of such. And so his little plot this episode, he has a flashback to when he first met Yang. Where
4 years ago or so.
arrives on his doorstep with the cat, much smaller cat at the time.
And he was like, hello, I'm coming to live
And
here
I like
now.
that Yang answers the door in his pajamas. eyes heavy with sleep, and a toothbrush in his mouth.
That's me.
Not in his hand, in his mouth. Just hanging loose from his mouth.
Yep.
I'm Julian Mincy. Minci.
Minsky?
Minci. M-I-N-C-I.
Min...
Minci. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I'll be living here starting today. I was recommended by Commodore Kazelnu. You're my dad now.
Julian just points him in.
And Yang is essentially using him as a housekeeper.
Yep. He's a terrible guardian.
We have some flashbacks as to his relationship with Yang and audio flashbacks. Being like, obviously I want to be a historical researcher rather than a soldier. Soldiers are terrible, Julian. If you have to be a soldier, try to be a good soldier. But there's no good soldiers, Julian, because war makes fascists of us all. That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's the plot of Starship Troopers.
It might also be the plot of this, if the Phezzan Dominion's scheme to make Yang launch his own coup d'etat succeeds.
Then he'll become a fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get a very nervous-looking ambassador?
The Alliance's ambassador to Phezzan meets with Kesselink, and for their whole conversation, he is dabbing sweat with a handkerchief.
He's basically amounts to, so listen, Phezzan's going to ask for that money that you owe us.
Yeah, your loans, you're defaulting on your loans, and we could ask you for trillions of dollars right now.
And he immediately is like, dab, okay, all right, but...
but we won't.
Oh, put away the dabber.
For as long as you are a stable democracy.
Dab.
But we are a stable democracy.
You wouldn't think that...
But you just had a coup d'etat.
Continues dabbing face. Yes, we
and
did.
what if Yang Wen-li, who single-handedly dismantled that coup, decided to launch his own?
Frantic dabbing.
Oh, I guess we should do something about that.
The dabs just keep getting more and more
just
pressing.
as planned.
Oh my god.
And then he dabs.
Ah, the dab.
You remember the dab?
The dab never left.
Yeah, it did.
If you dab in the office, you know what you are?
If you dab in the office, you dab in real life.
And that's just sad. Hi, Dab. I'm Dad. Ugh, hi, Dad. I'm Dab. Ugh.
This isn't anything.
No, but I'm just...
You're just doing some free association while I skim through my photo notes.
Oh god, yes. This is my life. This is what I do.
That's right. So basically, Kessel Link is like... Now remember, Yang destroyed the Artemis necklace when he was...
yes.
taking back Heinesen. He could have just destroyed some of the satellites, but he destroyed them all. Almost like he was doing that to aid a future scheme. Because he couldn't have just destroyed them as easily as he did while enacting a future scheme.
He couldn't have possibly just decided
to
do the right thing.
Laying groundwork.
No.
There's
no way.
Meanwhile, Yang and Julian go for a drink at Kazelnu's house on Isolone Fortress.
Oh.
We meet his daughter, Charlotte Phyllis Kazelnu.
Or as we know her,
Phyllis.
Yep. They have a brief moment of like, hey, I'm really glad you could be here. Really nice that you could come here. This is my family. They're all really excited to see you.
Kazelnu picks up his daughter and says to Yang, it's an absurd luxury to be a bachelor past the age of 31.
Oh, man, he's not going to like our future.
I'm not going to like this conversation, am I?
So then Yang's all like, well, I'd never be a great father.
And they razz him a bit in this episode, like, if you were a family man, then maybe you'd have some more stability.
Well,
and you'd have children to carry on your legacy.
Well, the only reason that you look so young is because you have a wife. And it's like, yeah, but I have a family.
The only reason I look so old is because she keeps fucking nagging me, am I right?
Jesus Christ.
It's not what happens, but it's kind of the tone of the conversation.
The whole thing is like, listen, she suffers for me, but I'm the one really suffering, if you know what I bloody mean, mate. Yeah, go on then, crack open
the old bloody
beers.
ball and chain, eh?
Yeah.
Raising my two beautiful children who I love so much. Light of my life. Please don't leave me, wife.
Fucking ball and chain, mate. Let's bloody go. Here we go.
Jamie Taco sketch.
The Jamie Taco
From I
sketch?
Think You Should Leave.
Oh, which one is the Jamie Taco sketch?
The guy, he's at like a lad's night.
Yep.
And they're all making jokes about their wives being the old ball and chain, etc., etc.
Yep.
And then the focus guy does one. But then he flashes back to how much his wife supported him when he was doing a community theatre show.
Yeah.
And Jamie Taco kept stealing his lines.
That's right. And this is the guy who looks... He's like a little bigger. He's a little... like,
moustache.
Yeah. And he's a bit like, you know what? No, my wife's great. She's amazing.
I'm sorry I said that.
So good.
I think I'm going to go home to my wife. And they're like, no, you can't leave the sleepover.
Oh, he's like, fuck you guys.
Now, I saw on Instagram a couple of days ago, so I won't be able to find it again because that app is a nightmare.
God, preach.
It was a real actor on a real movie, like a real superstar, like Timothy Chalamet level guy, but I don't think him,
Tom Cruise.
doing the Jamie Tarko, stealing his co-star's lines.
What? Like, on a movie set?
Yeah.
But it's a movie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't... There's literally people watching be all like, no, you don't say that. Actually, this guy says it. What? What? Okay.
And he was like, I don't think they'll ever put us on another movie again. Because we...
That's amazing. Because they kept stealing each other's lines?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Give me 1 second of silence to see if I can fact check this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Or you can just ramble.
1 second of silence.
John Cage, 3415.
Johnny Cage, 3415.
Is that what am I thinking of? The orchestral piece that all rests?
Oh.
Is that John Cage?
No, I don't know, but it's something like 5.5 minutes of silence or something.
No, it's not that.
Isn't there one called 5.5 minutes of silence? Okay, now I've got something to look up.
Okay.
And now we're really having a conversation.
We'll check back in with you in a half an hour or so.
I love that the modern world has sort of just become, oh, what's that thing? And then two people wordlessly looking up two separate things.
I have reminded myself that I bought my niece some Paw Patrols for Christmas. And genuinely considered taking a file to the cop dog and compromising its structural integrity.
A file to the cop dog?
Yeah, just filing down the neck a bit so that when she played with it, it would break.
Oh, wow. Okay. Have you ever thought that maybe you're a sociopath?
No, I'm incredibly normal. I'm a great uncle because I'm removing the cop dog.
Okay. It's called 4 minutes 33 seconds. Or 4 feet 33 inches. By experimental composer John Cage.
One of the better Mortal Kombat competitors.
It is divided into 3 movements lasting 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and 1 minute and 40 seconds respectively. The first 30 seconds are him flexing. Then the next 2 minutes 23 seconds are him putting on and taking off sunglasses. And the final 1 minute and 40 seconds... Fatalities.
So, you know, the music is all rests, but actually there's a lot of screaming and, like, masculine grunting.
Oh, no, sorry. They're all mutalities, so they make no sound. Yeah.
That's Kieran Culkin. Here's the quote. Sarah Snook, you're not supposed to have favourites. I have a favourite. There would be times, just for fun, I would take her line and then give her a little side eye, and the scene would go on, and when it was my line, she would take mine and go, got you, bitch. I'm coming for those lines.
This is the pettiest shit. Okay. Is this how you get ahead in Hollywood?
Yeah, you Jamie Tarko people.
Is this how you get ahead
in life?
In the military?
Yeah, you take people's lines.
You're just like, I've got a great plan to take over this small... I was about to say municipality. To take over this small country. And it involves bombarding them with thousands of bombs. And then you're about to speak, and your best friend, Johan, is all like, actually, I have a great idea. What if we bombard them? And you're like, bitch.
So they all toast Julian because he's been promoted for the first time. Hooray!
Yay!
And then Kazalnu and Yang retire to have some brandy and talk loudly about him while he's in the room.
And they're just discussing the nature of, like...
They're just talking about legacy.
Yeah, and how it's like, oh, you know, the best thing to do is to leave your genes for the next generation. And I'm pretty sure Yang responds with, what the fuck?
Yeah. And like, oh no, what if Trunick becomes ascendant, even more ascendant in politics, and the whole military has to answer to him? It's all very getting ready for the second Trump administration type stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing that this show, which takes place in the far future and was created in the distant past, is
of the 90s.
More relevant today than it ever was.
Yeah.
Literature truly is transcendental.
What would happen if a, like, 20-something-year-old got absolute power over an empire?
20-something-year-old?
Isn't Longram like 20-something?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Trunick.
No, not Trunick. Ugh. Oh, Trunick. He's like 20,000.
I mean, that's who they're talking about.
Yeah, but maybe he works for the Earth Cult. So it's weird because every time Trunick does anything, it should be working against him, and yet it works for him.
Yeah, deep.
What does that mean?
Surprisingly savvy political operator, even though he's an absolute boob.
Yeah, boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just Google that quickly.
Boobs of the past. John Howard.
Jonathan Joestar.
Oh. Yeah, so they just basically argue about how, like, well, I say argue.
They have a civil discussion.
They have a civil discussion regarding the best thing you can do is not kill people versus no, the best thing you can do is have kids so they can make up for your mistakes.
Yeah, and pass on the future of your race, someone says.
Yeah, which, not great.
Meanwhile, Job Trunicht is meeting with this Poirot-looking motherfucker, Negroponte.
Oh.
And they're basically like, hey, that Yang Wen Li, pretty sus. We better recall him and put him on an informal tribunal. Just so he doesn't coup us one day.
Yeah, and Trunicht is all like, make it happen.
Make it happen. Put him to death.
Rubinsky, meanwhile.
Rubinsky and Kesselink just gloat for a while, and they talk about how they're going to they're going to narrow Yang's range of options such that he has no choice but to be purged or to become a military dictator.
Yeah. Because they don't want to kill him, because that would be ridiculous. But I can't remember why.
Well, they want to maintain the appearance of neutrality, I suppose.
That's true.
And then once Yang is the military dictator, they would make sure that open conflict arises between the
Empire
and the Alliance, and so the Alliance would be destroyed, and bingo bango, Phezzan will kill the Kaiser, Lowengram.
Earth cult takes over. Life is
And then
Rubinsky.
they achieve their nebulous goals.
The new Reich,
They get
the new Earth.
what? They get Earth back.
And then they
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
But they did it! They got the... Yeah!
Profit.
Let's go!
Profit. P-R-O-P-H-E-T.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Okay, let's get a clean read of that.
Yeah,
Step
okay.
1. Weaken the Free Planets Alliance.
Yep.
Step 2.
Make the Empire attack the Free People's Alliance.
And destroy them.
Because we know that they're more powerful.
Yep. Step 3. Kill Lowengram.
Yep.
Step 4. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
Step 5. Profit.
But with a PH.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. This is a great plan.
Let's get an even cleaner read of that.
Okay.
No.
Step 1. Produce an heir to the throne. His name?
Adrian Rubinsky. Meanwhile, the other thing in this episode is the ongoing experiments to move Geisberg.
Yep.
For the one time you said it incredibly wrong has infected my brain, I tell you.
You never... This is my secret. Never remember.
Never listen to
Liam.
yourself.
Never remember. Always remember what just happened. Never remember what just happened.
The plan to strap big engines to Geisberg is continuing apace.
They strapped some big engines, and the big engines are being strapped on.
Yep, and we can return to that a few times throughout.
Cannot emphasize enough, it takes 2 episodes for that to get anywhere.
Hey, that's a pretty good rate, honestly.
To strap some engines onto something and go, yep, it's on.
And make it work.
It could be faster. This is the ultimate, like, I've seen better. It's like, I just strapped 12 warp engines onto a planet so that it could transport itself from A to B. And you don't think it's impressive? It's like, it could be 13.
Reinhardt and Hildegard are discussing the possible outcomes of the big engineering project. And basically, if they don't get it perfectly installed, the fortress might go into null space or be reduced to atoms. What does going into null space mean? We don't really know.
The important thing is that it's not a Dune reference. Wink, wink.
Is null space a thing in Dune?
No space is, and fold space
No
is.
space? Bloody furniture in my apartment, am I right?
Liam, you can't just make these references without understanding what no space is. You're thinking of fold space.
Do I want to know?
Well, fold space just means book. So then they're the same point.
You can't just go boop with your hands. You need to use your words.
It means 2 points in space. They're the same point in
I've
space.
been doing this for almost 10 years now, Nick.
Listen, I'll never learn. You never remember, Liam. Never remember.
Medium.
It means the 2 points in space become the same point in space.
Like a sandwich.
Yes, exactly. And just like in every movie that explains time travel, you fold the piece of paper in half.
I prefer to do it with a piece of pizza.
You put the hole through those 2 pieces of paper, or the sandwich, right? And the ham in the middle, that's where you are
That's
now.
reality.
Exactly. It's the most real it's ever been. No space means that there's no psychic powers allowed. You can't see into the future.
It's the Emperor's Webway project.
Yeah, literally it's that. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Anyway, that's the difference. So I think you'll find your furniture. So anyway, he's just chatting about how...
He's sipping on some very grey-looking wine and being like, hey, if they fail, I have to put them all to death, or they'll just die in the process.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? So be it.
Yep. And so Hildegard goes to Kirkeis's grave and is literally, what would Kirkeis do?
Yep.
He's so cold now, but you would be able to speak to him. Maybe I need to be the person who can speak to him now.
Yeah. Which we find out next episode, that's not going to happen.
Well, not yet.
Well, they haven't even cleaned the blood off the floor.
I suspect that was symbolic blood.
There's a piece of me that we'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
there.
Yeah. Remind me to talk about how it's so not clean in there.
We're in the second episode.
The second episode begins with...
Ernest Mecklinger, the Mr Moustache Man Admiral, who has had no characterization to date, finally gets a scene. And turns out he's my favourite.
He is the artistic admiral.
Yes.
He has won competitions in poetry, painting, piano. There was something else that they mentioned that I forgot. Never remember, Liam. Never remember.
He couldn't become a professional artist because he was lowborn, so he joined the military to subsidise his artistic pursuits. He could retire now, but he won't because he's discovered the beautiful living work of art that is Reinhard von Lohengrin.
And wait, is what's her face here?
Hildegard?
Yeah, Hildegard. So our boy Mecklinger
has been brought by Hildegard to go see this sick man, Baron Heinrich von Kunmel.
And Kunmel is like stuck in a bed.
He's got classic Victorian wasting disease.
Yeah, he's stuck in a bed. He looks like a vampire.
White hair, he's gaunt, and he's like, I'm so sick. I surround myself with the great men throughout history who have done great things, and I consider you one of them, Mr. Mecklinger.
So he compares him to, like, I think Sun Tzu?
Cao.
Cao.
Da Vinci.
Yep, Da Vinci.
Actually, I've got notes on this on the Genipedia.
Ooh.
Background information about this episode. The four individuals admired by Heinrich von Kunmel are namely the Italian Renaissance polymath Leonardo da Vinci,
Yeah, cool guy.
the Chinese Three Kingdoms warlord and poet Cao,
Oh.
as playable in Dynasty Warriors,
And many other Romance of the Three Kingdoms video games, yep.
the French politician, engineer, and mathematician Lazare Carnot.
Oh, Wait, Carnot?
I don't know Carnot.
I know who Carnot is. He made refrigeration.
Okay.
Yeah, he developed something called the Carnot cycle, which is where...
It's what makes time travel possible.
No, well, it's the theory that you can never have a paradox in time. In a fridge.
And finally, the founder of the Seljuk Empire, Toril Beg.
Who's he? Or she? Or they? Or it?
Abu Talib Muhammad Tugril ibn Mikhail, also known as Tugril,
Nailed it.
also spelled Togril or Tugril, was a Turkoman chieftain who founded the Seljuk Empire, ruling from 1037 to 1063.
But what did he do? What did he do, Liam? What are his accolades?
It's unclear.
Okay, you must be cool then. So these four guys.
Yeah.
They're mentioned in passing, but Mecklinger. Admiral Mecklinger.
Ernest Mecklinger.
He
Scared stupid.
He stands amongst them, perhaps even above them,
He painted Kunmel a painting.
which he admires and is like,
like,
this is truly a work of art.
Now, we did have one prior foreshadowing of Mecklinger being the artistic admiral, because that last episode where that guy tried to bribe Lohengrin with a painting, he was like, I don't know paintings, I'll have Mecklinger take a look at it.
Yeah. I think that was the only time we saw anything to do with Mecklinger that wasn't,
Him sitting silently in a chair.
just advising but not actually advising
Yeah.
on military stuff. But now we see his work on full display.
It looks like an okay landscape.
I'd say pretty amateur.
Yeah.
You know, I know paintings, Liam, alright? I'm a guy who knows paintings, and that's not a painting.
Well, Kunmel is overjoyed.
He's like, this is a work of art, Mecklinger. How could you not see that you yourself are an artist? And I think Mecklinger's all like, no, I'm no artist. That man above me, way up there, you see up there? You hear him? Do you hear him? Can I hear an
God?
amen? No, Lohengrin.
Look, that's kind of the crux of the scene, really. The
Yeah.
narrator gives us some ominous foreshadowing afterwards, but I didn't pick up what they were driving at.
Yeah, literally it's just, I fucking love Lohengrin.
Well, they talk on their way out. Admiral, you looked quite shocked when you entered. And he responds, well, whenever I go and see other really, really sick people, they've always got a pet in good health to keep them company. But he didn't. Just his books.
Hildegard looks away, almost feeling guilt. That's impossible to say.
Yep. And the narrator says, at that time, the two of them felt a vague uneasiness, but it would be considerable time afterward before that took form and appeared. What does that mean? Who knows?
It means Kirkheis is dead. No pet for
They're
Lohengrin.
gonna bring him back.
Yeah.
They do the Geiersberg Fortress movement test. They move the conventional engines at like 2,000 kilometers per hour, and it works. But it's all going to be
nice.
for naught unless they can get the warp engines working correctly.
Yeah, but the normal engines worked, which means we can move the fortress.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hildegard and Lohengrin are drinking tea.
Yeah, and they have a chat where, you know, he's all, you still oppose my plan to move Geiersberg and attack the Iserlohn, don't you? And she's all, well, I didn't say that, but pretty much.
Can I tell you, this is the level at which I was at when we were watching these episodes, because nothing was happening. I remembered this scene very vividly because Lohengrin puts his finger on a table, does this, like he taps his finger on the table with his little index
I didn't have to
finger.
remind you this time, at least.
Never remember. He taps his finger on the table, and I distinctly remember you immediately upon seeing it went, and then just
Did the
started
same thing.
tapping your finger on your knee, and I went, something's happening.
I do that a lot of people do little ticks like that in
It's like
I do
when...
like a sympathetic reaction. I guess
Yeah.
I'm just an empath.
Shut up! Why you gotta be this way, Leah? Why you gotta be so good?
They talk about the need for their empire to have an enemy to unite them. Classic fascism stuff.
But it can't be the FPA.
And it can't be the Kaiser. Because Ryan has like, I will not kill kids.
But it has to be the
I
Kaiser.
will not be remembered as a child murderer.
But it has to be the Kaiser, Lohengrin. After all, the true enemy is the Goldenborn dynasty.
Quote, I won't kill the Kaiser. That's splendid. But as you say, I need an enemy. And he's clutching his Kirkheis amulet.
And is it Hildebrand?
Hildegard.
Hildegard can't help.
Hildebrand is, of course, the comedic detective character in Final Fantasy XIV patch content.
Not what I was remembering it as, but okay. So Hildegard's looking at this little locket and being like, what could it symbolize? What could it mean that he's clutching to it?
We know.
Well, we know, but does Hildegard?
Probably. She's an astute observer of the human condition.
It's true. But what could it mean?
Meanwhile, in Iserlohn, Yang is preparing to be summoned back to Heinessen for an inquiry, and we talk about how it's not a formal court-martial, which could bode well or could bode ill for him, because it's not a formally established protocol, so he doesn't get like entitlement to a lawyer or anything like that, so that could be a big stitch-up.
It's literally...
Or it could just be a fact-finding session.
Yeah, it's literally a made-up thing. There's no such thing as an inquiry in the law books. There's no such thing as an inquiry in the Parliament books. Nothing in the Constitution. Nothing anywhere. It's a made-up word. So who knows what'll happen?
And so he talks about how he talks with Kazel New and my favourite character, whose name I can never remember, Mr. Rosenritter. Walter Schenkop.
Yep, Schenkop.
About how he should take a bodyguard, but he doesn't want to take a big regiment with him. So Schenkop assigns one guy who is like, he's one of them space barbarian types, probably, because like, he could take on a single platoon by himself. And Yang's all, oh, he's stronger than you then. Ha! I could take on a whole company by myself.
Ha 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 ha. And then I think they just laugh that off.
Pretty much. He can't take Julian because he's needed here, and he shall have some good time on the ship, on the fortress, making friends without Yang for once.
Oh, but what about, what's her name? Greenhill.
Greenhill. Yeah, she'll come.
Because I think Greenhill was taking a fancy towards Mr. Bigwig Admiral, Mr. Yang Wenli.
Oh my god. But would he ever take a fancy back?
Well, who knows? And so we get, I think it's either a flashback
Just a
or...
sideguard, the bodyguard assigned to Yang is Master Sergeant Louis Mashingo.
Mashingo?
Mashingo.
Hi, my name is Mash and Go. So Schenkop, I don't know if this is a flashback or something in the future that happens.
No, it's just a scene that happens afterwards, I think.
Well, he's going to Julian at the firing range.
Yeah.
And Julian is a crack shot.
Of course.
He's literally murdering these targets. And Schenkop's all like, well, do you reckon Yang Wenli's got something for little Miss Greenhill? And Julian's all like, I doubt it.
He says, he's a person who hates to let other people know his mind. He's a person He's a person who's comparatively transparent.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't like people to know his mind, but he's transparent.
He's got a good head, but his character is simple, right? Says Shenkop. On an individual level, he's somewhat naive, but he's a genius at strategy. And then Yulin says, I have to make dinner. If I don't make the Admiral's favourite Irish stew, trails off.
He's a goddamn genius. A walking
He'll
contradiction.
fucking kill me if I don't make this Irish stew.
He's a simple man. If he doesn't get his stew, he'll kill us all.
The guy leading the Geiersberg Fortress engine project, I think it might be Shaft, but he's not a major character.
Yeah.
He goes and visits his family, and they're like, Daddy, you're going to come home and visit us after work, right? You're not going to die in the process of fulfilling your duties, right?
He laughs it off.
That's right. I'm definitely going to get a promotion, not die, and then come and have a vacation with you. Ha 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 ha.
And then his loving wife is like, please don't die, that's all I want.
And he's like, I won't die. And it feels like they're really foreshadowing this guy's death.
And he's just like, he kisses his wife, he hugs his children, he's like, I'm a good evil
Hugs his
empire
ugly
guy.
children.
Yep.
They've got the classic Imperial bowl cut.
They all look like Flagle, but far, far less shitty.
Yeah, they're flagle hatchlings.
Ugh. Meanwhile, on some random planet,
Phezzan.
on Phezzan, this guy.
As we said before, Kesselink goes to Leopold Schumacher, the guy who killed Flagle, and then left with his troops to go and become subsistence farmers on
Yep. He's not a
Phezzan.
captain. He's not a captain anymore, as he tells what's his name?
Kesselink.
Kesselink.
That he wants to spend the rest of his life as a pioneer on the planet with his former subordinates, now friends, just working the land and living a simple life. But Kesselink is like, you've got to do this job for me, or I'll tell everyone at the market that they can't buy your vegetables. Then you can't be a farmer at all, bitch.
And he's all like,
And he's washing his face in the trough.
he's like, what would you have me do?
Is that's the way you do things in Phezzan, is it? And he's like, yes, it is.
So he's got him in the bag.
Yep, he reluctantly signs on to this secret conspiracy.
Yep. And then the next thing we get is a Flagle-looking ass noble.
Flagle-looking ass noble whose manuscript isn't being purchased by a publisher. I've got another context note on that. Mm-hmm. The publisher, which Alfred von Landsberg unsuccessfully tried to sell his work to, appears to be called Tokuma, which is an allusion to Tokuma Shoten, the Japanese publishing company which originally published the Legend of Galactic Heroes series of novels.
There you go. That's fun.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's not getting it.
Yeah. But he does get in on a conspiracy.
So
They shake hands in a shadowy warehouse. Leopold has traded his simple farming garb of a white singlet for a evil cyberpunk conspiracy black jacket with a popped collar.
they all look deeply evil. And what's his name? The Phezzan guy. Mm-hmm. Kissenfeld?
Kissenfeld? Kesselink?
Kissentel.
He's like, it's all coming together.
Yeah, he looks evilly into the camera as all like...
We cut to our best friends, Ruenthal and Mittenmeyer, having a drink in a bar, chatting about the people they know. And Ruenthal says, there's no novelty in Shaft's plan, the plan to stick engines on Geiersberg to assault Iserlohn. He says, isn't it just the old big ships, big guns doctrine? And I have another context note for that.
There are so many notes!
There's 3, and this is the 3rd. The all big guns doctrine, mentioned by Oscar von Ruenthal, refers to the revolutionary shift in battleship design during the early 20th century, which emphasized on a large number of uniform heavy caliber guns for the battleship's main battery. This doctrine was popularized by the British battleship HMS Dreadnought, such that subsequent battleships inspired by it were all collectively known as dreadnoughts.
Right.
So he's saying, we're just taking another thing loaded up with big guns to attack another big gun thing.
Yeah. Main batteries, etc., etc.
Yep.
Big guns.
Not novel at all. 20th century bullshit.
What do you think, Mittermeier?
I'd rather think about how we saw Prince Lohengram here for the first time, and they flash back to seeing him as Rudolf von...
This whole
Reinhard
fucking thing.
von... What's his old name?
Von
Musel.
Yeah.
And they saw him and Kirkais passing through and going to salute an officer, and that was about it, really.
Yeah.
And they were like, then in the past, they mused on whether he's the one they call the blonde brat, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Now, Well, there's some saying about how a baby tiger can look like a house cat, but is he a house cat or a tiger?
Well, a lion is king of the jungle.
And as they reflect on that back in the present, the king of the animals, they say, the lion.
It's so fucking stupid. I hate this scene so much.
Why?
It's so stupid. Like, literally, it could have been anyone that walked past. Anyone that walked past. And they would just stop what they're doing and be all like, hey, isn't that guy? It's like, yes, it is. What do you think about time? Do you think it moves or does it flow?
I think it keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping.
Return to the present. You know, a stopwatch moves faster than a foot.
You know, a stopwatch is right twice a day.
Unless you turn it on at the wrong time. Yeah. And that's why we can't trust Oberstein.
They also reflect on what would Kierkegaard do.
Because he's dead.
The warp test of Geisberg,
Lowengram is there.
it happens largely and dramatically, but nothing goes wrong. It doesn't explode like we all expect it to.
Guy's still alive.
Yeah. Reinhardt gets shuttled onto Geisberg afterwards and walks into the Kirkai's death room and is like, no one else is to come in.
And Hildegard is all like, if only I could get through to him.
He's so cold.
And then Lowengram has a long, drawn-out moment,
Sitting on the steps where he saw Kierkegaard die.
which still has the blood on it.
I think it's metaphorical blood.
Now-
I think it's like the red spot on Lady Macbeth's hands.
No, but see, this is what I reckon. I reckon Lowengram, now fully in power, has said,
Never clean that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder of what was.
never come into this room, never wash the floor. We must never forget, right? It's like a memorial to Kirkheis, but
Not to be
his
confused
grave.
with the actual memorial
Yeah,
to
correct.
him. Or the little pendant that he always keeps on his person.
No, we must remember what happened, and this is the root. So I reckon maybe, it's possible, it's still there.
And he talks to himself and he says, no matter what I do, I'll take the universe and then go meet my sister. But I'm so cold, Kierkegaard. Being a fascist dictator has left me emotionally dead inside. In a universe without you and my sister, warm light is lacking. And he opens the thing and looks at the hair. If I could go back and do it all over again, would I do it better? I'm Lowengram. What would Kierkegaard do? Fun. And Hildegard is outside being like, he's so cold and lonely now. Maybe I can be his new special friend.
But she's also a bit like, why is he taking over the universe now?
Why does he want to win the universe?
It used to be about Kirkheis.
He can't keep trying to win the universe like this.
Yeah. If only he was more chill.
If only I could seduce that cold, icy heart into being a warm, friendly dictator.
A fiery, passionate heart. One that could burn the stars. Yep.
And that's the end.
That's the 2 episodes.
Yep. Not much happens.
Yeah, Geisberg Fortress has moved forward. Lowengram is sinking deeper into
Evil depression.
evil depression.
Yang Wen Li is probably going to get some trumped up charges thrown his way.
He's getting jumped.
Yep, he doesn't even have his own ace attorney in his corner.
And Julian? Well,
Who cares?
He's Julian. Yeah.
Yep, Adrian Rubinsky.
Fuck me. Oh, what a guy. What an absolute... You think to yourself, Adrian Rubinsky's got it going on, and then you see shit happening around him. He's like, well,
I am Adrian Rubinsky. Another scotch, please.
yeah, he has things happening to him that he's like, well,
He's a manager.
look, ride the wave.
Managers don't do anything.
Yeah, embrace the chaos. Let's go. Oh, man.
So Nick, highlights and lowlights for these 2 episodes.
Easy low light. Fucking Mittermeier and what's his name?
Ruenthal, talking
Ruenthal.
about the past.
Talking about, there goes that blonde brat. Because it could have been literally anyone. Just literally anyone.
See, what the problem you have with them reflecting on the first time they saw him. It could have been anyone, but it was the first time they saw him.
I know. But I'm like...
It had to happen at some point.
I know, but I'm just like, do they do that with everyone that walks past?
Just, you've never people watched?
Oh, I have people... Oh, Liam.
Well, who's to say one of them, those people you've watched, isn't going to end up ruling the universe?
Damn. I shouldn't have made fun of that weird guy that I saw that one time being like, who is that weird guy? And then trying to guess his name just based on looks alone.
Friend of the show, Kyle, has just put in our group chat.
Yeah.
There's a web archive of cases of people dying cave diving.
Okay. That's going to be some good content for later.
Horrifying.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's easily my low light for sure.
My low light is... good apps.
Even though nothing happened, still pretty good apps. A lot of intrigue.
I think my low light is probably the talk with Greenhill. Sorry, about Cazelnew. About, like, you've got to pass on your genes to carry forward your legacy, Yang.
And Yang's like, what the fuck?
It was fine. It just didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
It feels like the nature of a conversation they've had before.
Yeah. But can a child fix his father's mistakes?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Highlights. Oh, my highlight is the evil wizard Earth Cult Bishop going and sitting in the ordinary waiting room.
Stolen from me. God, it's so good though. Like, why didn't he just get on the phone and be like, go into that weird room again, please? Like, we've seen them do it before.
Well, I mean, that was the Grand Bishop. Maybe only the Grand Bishop has access to hologram technology.
It's so dumb. It's so good. I want to say my highlight. I want to say my highlight is going to be the flashback of actually finding out where Julian even came from. Because I don't think
we've... getting dumped on Yang's doorstep one day.
I don't think we've ever really explicitly said, oh yeah, Julian met Yang at this time in the past.
Yeah, he's his military-assigned ward.
Yeah. But it was nice to know, oh yeah, he never signed up for this. This is just like a thing that was put on him. Okay, cool. Well, alright then.
Yep.
That's that. Good to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nick.
Yes. Hello.
They're moving Geiersberg Fortress to assault Iserlohn Fortress.
Boy, are they.
And Yang is not even there.
All the big guns.
He's going back to Heinessen for an inquiry.
That doesn't even exist.
Oh my god. What will happen next time on the next 2 episodes of Legend of the Galactic Heroes? Heroes. In the episodes entitled The Inquiry Committee and...
Sorry, if it's called something to do with the fortress.
War Without Weapons.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, the next one's going to have to be, who do we put on this committee? Right? That's the whole
Committee
episode.
Assembling Bureaucracy.
It's not going to be...
Well, we've got to put Bucock on there, because if we don't put someone sympathetic to Yang on, we'll be accused of bias.
Exactly. I reckon it has nothing to do with the inquiry itself, and everything to do with, we have to make sure that they're going to deliver the thing we want them to deliver, which is guilty.
But we need plausible deniability that's not biased.
Exactly. So we need 4 out of the 10 to be, or 4 out of the 9 to be
Yang boosters.
Evil. Yang boosters, and then the rest to be pure evil.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the whole episode.
Okay.
I legitimately...
Just like had these 2 episodes were both just Kessel Link going and meeting with people.
Exactly.
It's going to be that, but it's going to be Trunicked.
But there's also going to be Kessel Link somehow mingling with it.
Sure, well, they've got assets in the dang alliance, don't they?
Exactly.
And of course, there's going to be interstitial cutaways of Yang on like a space bus, being like, sure, I'm getting close to Heinessen now.
And then he's going to muse to... Who went with him?
Frederica Greenhill and this as yet unseen Louis
big guy.
Schenberg, or whatever his name is.
And he's going to muse with them on like the nature of war in the face of politics.
Yeah, that's all he does.
You know, and he's
Classic
just going to be
Yang
like...
shit.
Yeah, and he's just going to be like, do you remember back in 1736 when there was that big war that happened? And they'll be like, no. And then he'll explain at great length about the philosophy of that war, and he'll be like, yeah, something like that might happen here, so I'm going to be prepared for it.
And at some point in the next few episodes, maybe not next time or the time after, the people who have been left at Iserlohn, led by Shenkop and Cazelnew, are going to have to deal with fighting off Geiersberg Fortress without Yang the Magician leading them.
Yes. Can they hold their own?
Yeah, people will die because Yang wasn't there to save them. He's going to feel terrible about it because of politics. Politics drew him away from the business of defending his people, and that's going to radicalize him a bit more, sending him down that path that the Phezzan want to send him on, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no. And slowly he'll become more and more evil. But war without weapons.
I think that's going to be more committee bullshit, honestly.
Yeah, okay, all right. Is it going to be inquiry bullshit?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Or is it going to be the Phezzan slowly... Yeah.
Good call.
Or maybe both at the same time. Yeah, probably. Probably both.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, Nick.
Yes.
It's a happy new year. To me, to you, to the listener.
You don't sound
maybe our
happy.
last.
What do you mean
as a
your
people?
Last? Oh, as a people. You know...
We don't know.
Maybe in this crazy world of ours.
Crazy, mixed up, mad world.
Where we have, say 7 days to die.
We did watch a lot of cursed videotapes. I thought that, what's that fucking called? Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
I think I might have said this on the podcast before. I thought, based on apparently an inaccurate Netflix promotional email I was sent about that show.
Well, they sent, I'd win.
What?
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I thought it was going to be about a guy who's got a curse.
Uh-huh.
And so he's like, I've got a year to live. I'm going to go and collect all of the Ring-style videotape curses I can in that time. And take them all with me.
Kind of, but not really.
It would be better if that's what it was. I haven't watched it, but I like that concept.
I love the idea that you're like, I'm interested in this show. But the understanding I have of it, it would be better if it wasn't that show.
It would be better if it was the thing that I wanted to watch.
Yeah. Beautiful. Outstanding.
But until it's that thing,
To be continued.